Good morning, it's 10:03 on Friday, July 12th, 2024. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Let's go to item number 1, discuss and review jail maintenance projects and work orders. Chief?
I brought Jeff with me because Cornerstone was here all week, and
Okay.
he's going to explain a whole lot better than I am.
So I've been told that sometimes we have a hard time hearing folks in the audience if they
Yeah, he's
don't
gonna come up there.
Okay.
And then I have a follow-up on that.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. How are y'all today?
Good morning.
All right. You guys are probably all very aware that we've spent the last 11 days with Cornerstone installing the new server and the upgrades to said server. Unfortunately, we ran into some circumstances where things didn't go quite the way we wanted to. The main issue was when we installed the upgrade, the Pelco cameras didn't like it. They didn't like the software. So there was an argument between the Pelcos staying recording and dropping out and recording and dropping out. Okay, so what had to be done was an emergency license had to be obtained from Bosch, which expanded our licenses to where we could have all the video that we had prior to the upgrade stored so we could access it. Which there's a mirror copy of the VSGs, I believe they're called, the gateways that the Pelcos have to talk through in order to get to the Bosch system. So the VSGs had to be on the old servers in order to keep that video, plus they had to be moved to Windows 2016. The operating system was upgraded. However, the 4 servers that we had initially on the install, on the original, are not upgradable. They don't upgrade to 2016. They can't accept it. They're getting ready to pass their service life, so they wouldn't accept the 2016 upgrade. So we have 3 different operating systems going now. On the 4 originals is Windows 2012, which they can't be upgraded. Their service life is almost out. 2016 is running on the app server and the VRM server, which the VRM is the managing server of all the other ones. And then the newest server that we installed has Windows 2019 on it. So all of the Pelco cameras are running on the 2016 software per Bosch. That was their fix. Said that you can't install 2016 on the old server, so they can't record to that server if they don't communicate currently.
What are the Pelco cameras?
It's a different brand. They're the 4-ways, the pod cameras, some of the hallways, things like they're the ones that are over mostly in on the jail side. The fisheyes are the Bosch cameras.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And a lot of most Bosch is outside the building and on admin side, and some in property and bookend. There's 80 Pelco cameras. With what they suggest, and of course the expense would be tremendous, would be to take all the Pelco brand out and install all of Bosch. Well,
I'm really confused because I thought that whole system was Bosch.
The whole system was Bosch.
That's what we were told by the manufacturer in the initial. There's no ever mention of Pelcos. That's why I'm sitting there scratching my head. What is a Pelco?
I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I'm familiar with Pelco from the traffic industry. I mean, we use Pelco cameras, but
There are
I had no idea.
80 Pelco cameras on our system with most of them are quad views, 4 views. So there are, I believe, 234 views are coming from a Pelco source. And all of those views were dropping in and out with the software turn.
So I'm about to ask a bunch of probably dumb questions, but
Go ahead.
I wasn't here at the time, so I'm going to ask him. When was the LEC built?
27,
Started late 2017, 2018,
And it was finished?
2020.
2020.
Okay. Cornerstone was hired to do the full-on camera work for the whole LEC, is that right?
Correct.
All the detention equipment.
Okay. So the project that started in 2017 and finished in 2020, Cornerstone got us servers that won't accept a Windows update past Windows 2012.
16.
Okay, past Windows 2016.
2016 is the app server and the VRM server.
But the 2012, what I understand, he just said 2012, you can't update.
The storage arrays. There's
Okay,
But this deal was done at the end of that project.
that's
your point.
sort of what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
Yeah.
We
So-
didn't do it the first day they poured concrete,
So,
yeah.
so
right.
Cornerstone set us up with servers that
We're almost out of date.
were almost out of date, even the,
And
Or out of
they
date.
didn't tell anybody about it.
and gave us cameras that weren't what was advertised.
Yeah, that's
Did
what it's.
We
bid?
discussed that camera deal, Mark.
Yeah.
We
we
discussed
did.
it ad nauseum that
Yeah.
that the whole point in moving over to the Bosch system was to have a unified system that every camera was something that
So
worked
that you
with
don't
the
run
system.
into this problem.
Cameras are attached to a lot of those cameras are attached to doors and buzzers, intercoms. And
That-
that's why it was all one system was put together.
But didn't we do an RFP for that?
No, it's all part of the project.
Part of the project.
We argued with that point ad nauseum.
I
that
thought there was another camera deal, there was some controversy
there
over
was
which
that
camera.
originally IT wanted to bring in all of our existing cameras for various reasons. That was no good either. I mean, for one, we'd had to decommission everything and move it all over and try to start it up while we're moving inmates. It made no sense whatsoever. Plus, our licenses were drawing near the end. Same reason we're not using those cameras now.
Makes sense.
Is, so we abandoned the old system and we wanted a brand new unified, complete system that was all supposed to be Bosch and all supposed to be compatible. Now we're talking that we have
So we would not have.
different
this problem.
servers that don't work.
If,
Yeah.
and I'll say on the upgrade, the Bosch cameras, no issues. Everything, they all record fine to any of the servers.
Box all the way through.
You were there in all those meetings with me.
And
Did you
yeah,
ever
there
hear
are 80
anything
there are
about a
80
Pelco camera?
cameras in our jail
Not
that
until you just
require
said it
a
right
video
there.
streaming gateway to talk to the
I thought it
Bosch
was something we
servers.
added later.
Say that again.
There are 80 Pelco cameras in our jail that require video streaming gateways to talk to the Bosch servers with a particular install that we had. And they had to move all of those to the 2016 because the Pelco software didn't agree on the 2012 after the upgrade happened.
Well, how did we end up with the two different kinds? How did that come about?
Don't know.
I don't have that answer. I don't know.
Who could give us that answer?
Well, I have to go back to the bid and all the original bids that came in from Harper Perkins. When they put it out to bid, Cornerstone would have bid on everything, whatever they bid on. They would have specified what they were bidding at that time.
That's what I.
Yates.
All that
Yates was the one that was
yeah,
over
all
all
that
that.
was open at M.F. Litkins. Everything was sent to them. That's where all that stuff was opened up at, and then later brought to Harper Perkins to award the bids. But Cornerstone bid was the detention doors, the cameras,
Yeah, all the detention equipment.
all the detention equipment. It was
The
$14
prefab
million or
cells.
so.
So, don't know who should
Yeah,
connect with them, but I'd like for somebody to
we'll reach out to them.
connect to either M&F Littleton or Harper Perkins.
It's on Yates. They handled the detention side.
Yeah.
Harper Perkins
Yeah,
only
Yates would
handled
have had it,
at
but
least the law enforcement side. Yates was,
I'm thinking their proposal would have had it in
Yeah.
the proposal. We just had to find a copy of their proposal on the bid,
Okay.
which I've never seen all those proposals, so.
It's a stack about.
Oh, I bet it
Yeah,
is
there's-
too.
Not that tall. But we did have that
100,000
conversation.
different pieces in there that,
So, to wrap a bow on this, where are we today from the standpoint of these 80 cameras working or not?
They're all working. Everything is stabilized.
Okay. But we're going to run in, but that required an emergency license.
Yes, and there's an as to the emergency license, because the emergency license is only good for 30 days. However, there is a contingency plan there where they've already acquired the second emergency license,
Who is they?
is Cornerstone.
Okay.
So we're having to pay Cornerstone for making a mess of our system.
That was an editorial comment, not something you need to answer.
Right. They have obtained the emergency license, and I've already set up a date for them to remote in, and it's a remote access. Well, they'll update the license to carry for the next 30 days, and the reason we have to do that is because of the mirrored images for the saved recordings. The original, the permanent license that we have, there's not enough licenses to replicate, to mirror it. If we were to have done that, because he did mention this to me, because without the emergency license, we'd have to pay an additional $128,000 to save the video for 60 days. And I said, well, that's not an option. So he called Bosch, and they issued the emergency licenses necessary to where they were to come in and put the permanent license in, and everything is stable. At the end all of the day, we are stable, we haven't lost any video, and upgrades will be necessary on those 4 servers. Because one of the servers, there's issues with it too, it's NVR3. Whilst doing the upgrade, and this was a previous condition, this wasn't a condition that was of the upgrade, that server 3 was losing connection and it didn't want to stay connected. So that's where he's also contacted Bosch to have their engineers look and see what's wrong with that server. They think it's a hardware issue in that server at this time. They think, but I'm still waiting on the report back.
How much are we out now on 2 30-day emergency licenses?
How much are we out?
Yeah, how much does that cost?
0. That didn't cost us anything. Those emergency licenses were all Cornerstone.
Okay.
Those
Not that we won't get some from Cornerstone, but we haven't seen anything.
They'll probably bill us later.
I don't believe that to be the case. They didn't say it was gonna cost us anything additional, because these were unforeseen issues. And with that licensing thing, everybody thought that everything was gonna be fine, the upgrade will go well. This was something that even Bosch couldn't really explain, because he was on the phone with Bosch asking him, what do we do here? We cannot lose video. So they said, we'll give you an emergency license.
Okay.
And that was a kind of a wash there. He didn't mention any cost. He mentioned the cost of if we went permanent, which he even said, we're not doing that. We're not adding any cost to you because of the software change.
Because the permanent would just be to be able to move stuff over, right?
The permanent would have been, that said cost of 128, we're gonna dump the video in 60 days anyway.
Right.
So it would have been a waste of 128,000 just to keep that video on hand.
Okay.
We probably need to let Mel read that proposal from Cornerstone and just see what, when Mel clears up and has the time to look through it and see if it dictates anything.
Yeah.
Mel doesn't have.
Hey, Judge.
He
Whoa.
doesn't have anything on his desk.
Brendan, hello.
I want us to be involved in that too, because I want to see what they're doing and see what's going on. It appears that, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Too
you're
loud.
really loud.
Yes, Lord, we can hear you.
All right, can you say something?
Yes, sir.
Woo, too loud. Talk lower.
Yeah.
Whisper.
I'll talk really quietly. Is that better?
No, it's not. Hold on.
Yeah, there's gotta be a volume knob on that somewhere. Or we'll have Will shoot the speakers out.
No,
Yeah.
it'll be expensive.
Yeah, we already know what that will cost.
Bullets are expensive these days.
Dang, that's the best that thing's worked than ever.
Well, we did some adjustments.
Yeah.
Don't talk.
Yeah, hold up.
Hey, Brendan, are you in the building?
I'm on my way up right now.
Okay, we'll see you in just a second. Hey, Brendan's gonna come up.
He walks in, we're gonna have feedback like you're not gonna believe.
Phone fader's not labeled, so.
Well, what's funny is he asked me right before court, looking at the agenda, if he had other things he could be doing, if he was necessary.
You now know why I'm not trying to explain this to you.
Yeah.
So,
while we wait for him to come up and provide what the comments he was about to make. So, we're good now. We're taking care of the next 60 days on 2 emergency licenses. Then beyond that, there will be a new license that has to come in to take care of the old servers or we're gonna have to replace old servers, or what's?
Where starting today, where are the videos being sent to, what server?
I don't know. Video, how it's recorded isn't sent to a specific server. There's one server that is read-only, and that's the NVR3. The other server, the new server that we had put in, the storage arrays. There are 5 physical storage arrays in our closet. 4 of them are currently operational, with the NVR3 storage array being the one that's having the connection issues. It is set on read-only. It's carrying, and it's on read-only because of the storage for that 60-day window. You can go back and look into the logs where each camera sends to which server, but it's varied because the NVR sends out what's called storage blocks. It sends the blocks out to the cameras and it assigns those cameras a particular server. When that block is expired, the VRM sends out another set of blocks, but it's not determined which server it goes to. So when you pull back the playback, you could be pulling video from server 1, server 4, server 3, but you don't see that. It just went straight through.
How do you access the video?
Oh, yeah, me too.
Is that, I mean, you don't have any problem, you don't have to hunt down the server that it's on in order to?
No, sir. It's just all time and date.
Oh, okay.
And there was an additional piece that Cornerstone put in for us that wasn't in the scope of work. It was the time server, which that was a big issue between the Pelcos and the Bosches that they were trying to figure out before. All of the cameras now are all synced to the exact time, so when they go back and look, they don't have to look in a Pelco 7 minutes before this Bosch camera if it was a multi-image. So everything is all synced by time now. So that was a huge upgrade there, and they said they threw that in for no cost. It was like an $1,800 server. So
Nice of them.
it was.
Fix their mistake for free.
Brendan, you were yelling at us, trying to tell us.
Yeah, we'll go and look at it. I know Alex was there for part of it, for part of the upgrade.
I think for when he walked through looking at the workstations that was IT related.
Yeah, but we'll look over and see what they did. That some of what they're saying doesn't make a lot of sense, but at least from my side of it, so we'll look and verify what's going on. The hardware that they put in can accept all the way up to server 22, so I don't know what information they're trying to pass off, because I know what they're running. We just need to look and see. I'll have Cody look at it and we'll figure it out and make sure that they're not trying to pull a fast one.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I do think probably if y'all can get with, whether again, it's our Perkins and Affiliate, of course, whoever it is, to get what the original proposal was, and then let's take a look at that and all them. And, because if we paid for a unified system of cameras so that this wouldn't happen and didn't get it, that's something we want to take action on, because we spend a lot of money with Cornerstone.
But both of these, Jeff, are coming from Cornerstone, the Bosch and the other cameras. They have in the middle of the project, just moved brands of camera, right? I mean, they changed to Bosch where they were using.
They're supposed to be all Bosch.
Yeah, I'm not on the know of when Pelco was introduced into because when I do know that when I took, I guess, ownership of the building, there were Pelco cameras that were installed at that time.
And again, whatever was said, it's the words on the page that ultimately matter here. So let's see what those actually say. And if you'll have Cody get out there with them.
Yeah, we will. We'll look at it. And it's not uncommon for camera systems to have, even if they're one controlled software, it is not uncommon to have different manufacturers, because Bosch doesn't make wide field cameras as far as multi-view ones. So if you spec a multi-view camera with quad or 8 zones.
That was the
Bosch
issue.
doesn't have that, so they probably had to go with another camera manufacturer to make those views possible.
And that's fine.
I was just letting you know
Long,
that's
yes,
one.
as long as
They're fully compatible.
you don't introduce.
And it sounds like they
3
are,
years later.
from what he was saying earlier, they've got a connector that adapts them to the storage arrays. It sounds rather standard, I just don't think they're presenting the information correctly.
It may
That's
be
what-
me too, you know, I may be lost in some of the terminology, but I do know what you were saying, the 4-ways weren't an option from Bosch Manufacturing at the time of install. They do make them now, I do know that, cause we were talking about, we need to put one in J-Pod, a 4-way, and that was gonna be the new Bosch 4-way, which is a pretty big install, I mean, it's all big hardware and stuff, but that is correct, I do remember them saying that now, that at the time, where we needed 4-ways, Bosch did manufacture that style of camera at that time, so.
Okay.
But that's something we
It's a
can look at.
definite.
They should be, if you run them through the proper connectors, which it sounds like they have, it is compatible with the system, and it's not, makeshift, it is the proper way to do it. We just need to, and we're more than happy to look over and find that out.
Okay.
Because the hardware that he's talking about, the newest storage array that is upgradable, and it has 2019 or 20, I think it's 2019 on it, they put on it. The older storage arrays, the ones that are at 2012, the initial ones that were installed, their service life, I guess, is about done, is what he said. They're not gonna support it anymore. So that's why, and if we were to have put, or tried to have placed the 2016 on those servers, it wouldn't have accepted it. And if it would have, we would have lost the video unless we had an alternate storage spot for it.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. Any other questions about the course manual?
But Brennan, you'll look at that, can you look at that proposal as well and just see if something stands out to you when you go through that, or be backup for Mel if he
Yes.
has a question?
Yeah, we will look at that as well.
While we're talking about Cornerstone, I don't remember when, cause it all kinda runs together anymore, but I know we talked about the Cornerstone cameras at the exit gates to be replaced. And then we talked about, remember that discussion we had about that, and then maybe going to a different camera system? I don't think we ever come to resolve on what we're gonna do with those cameras, cause they've never been ordered or anything.
Well, that's probably something we can get an agenda item on. and
Yeah,
discuss.
I didn't know if y'all recalled where we ended up at on that. We've all said since then.
it's been a while since I remember putting that out there. So,
Okay.
and it's the two entrance gate cameras.
We didn't talk about it because they weren't didn't need to be as crucial a camera or something.
Yeah, you talked about it, and I think Brendan was gonna look at putting the visual on or something, and decided to stay with Bosch, but I think that's where it kinda died, so we'll put it back on the agenda.
Any other jail maintenance issues?
I've got our weekly list that I compiled for you, just
Okay.
the hits and the hits and misses on this. Our top through glass that we ordered from Tacoma for CBI, for the nurses station, that's being installed today. That's here, and they were on site when I was headed this way, so that's gonna be done. The door in central booking that was torn apart, that has been scheduled to be repaired on the 31st of this
The
month.
padded door.
Yeah, the padded door, yes, the padded part of it. That's tentatively scheduled for July 31st start. It's about a 2 to 3 day repair. Let's see, that we've discussed. The Papa 305 toilet access, I don't know if that's been brought up yet, but there's a pipe chase that wasn't installed for us to get access to the plumbing on this particular cell. It's in the transport hallway. The toilet, we needed to change a simple diaphragm out, and the access to it is up over the top of the cell. Drop a ladder down into a space no wider than my hips. And there's construction debris and pipes all back there, so the access is, I wouldn't feel safe putting somebody back there for any length of time. So there is no access to that.
It was brought up during construction,
I don't remember that.
That one, and remember, it was right at the same time they talked about the plumbing for the two padded cells, so there's no access to those two padded cells, or that third cell that's next to them. They didn't create a walk back there.
Any maintenance access to it, there is none. On the prints too, I looked on the prints to see if it was a mess. There's no access point on the blueprint itself.
How do you service the,
You can't back there on that particular cell. It's and I have a picture of what we took when we were up there to if anybody needed a reference,
Very
but
skinny person.
it's,
you'd have to go through the front in order to get to it?
That particular cell he's talking about is in the transport hallway. It's a very seldom used cell because we basically use transport hallway when we bring inmates in and out. So we have other options to put them other than in that cell.
So if you had to get there, tear out the wall,
You have to.
yes,
concrete wall?
the block.
You remember
yes.
they kinda talked
I
about
remember
that.
they
back-
were supposed to put
Yeah,
in
the back of the
valves that
block
would be
is, and then
accessible from
the other side of that
front
wall is
side.
at the nurse's station. It's
I
in their
thought so
on
too.
one of
The
the
toilet
bathrooms.
and-
You're right. I kinda
Yeah, there's
remember that
supposed to
too.
be valves that are replaceable from the cell
Front
side.
side.
Yeah, you're right, I remember
I
a
kinda
discussion
remember
about
we
that.
talked, we'll talk about it when we get back. I think there's some option.
Is there?
I think so.
'Cause I know that some of like in medical shoe, underneath, they have access panels that drop. Well, this one, I don't believe, I didn't see it. I may have missed it underneath the toilet, but if there was an access panel there, it would be a contorted mess to take the top of the toilet diaphragm off. So I haven't seen the access panel. I gave it a quick overview. The only access point that I would have seen is the one that goes down that way, and I've been inside the cell and on the other sides and everything like that. So we'll review it and see if there's not an access panel there. It could be, but we'll have to report
Yeah,
back
I
on
do
it.
You
remember
remember-
the discussion.
yeah.
A long time ago. Yeah, that there were a couple that had to have front access.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, like some of the bookend showers where you have to just take the whole shower panel out.
That was it, no.
This one is this is a whole combination unit, toilet and sink, to where I don't know if there's an access under there or not. I didn't see it when I looked, and I may have overlooked it. So, I hope I did. Anything else?
What's the latest on the inmate shop upgrade?
The metal, they're should finish up the metal and start scanning it next week. Should finish up the metal today or Monday.
Framing it.
Framing it.
Framing
Yeah, then they have to get the inspection on the framing before they can scan it. It's moving along pretty quick. They've done the boring for all the electrical and plumbing where it needs to go back to.
And I saw we may be putting in a lift for that
Yeah, we're
sewer.
going to have a lift. The grade's not enough to push that water down.
it. For just that one shop, you're gonna have to have a lift.
Yeah, $3,700, I think.
It's a
was-
small one.
Yeah, it's gotta go from that shop all the way back to production, where it ties into the city drain or sewer.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We'll get through it.
You shouldn't have to be getting through it. That's where I'm just very frustrated.
The best part about it is, guys, is we are currently stable and all of our video wasn't lost. So there's a cherry on top of the ice cream.
Yeah.
The rest of it, we will work through and we'll get back to where we need to be.
Appreciate your work.
Yeah,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Thank you. You can read on
Brendan, if you
something.
need me, no, he's not in here, sorry.
Please stand on something.
Y'all have a good day, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move along to item number 2, see status report on salaries and overtime. Would be in your email from yesterday at 7:46 a.m.
trying to
Forget
log,
it.
no, I'm trying to log in, so you do this, and you gotta go over here, but you gotta put your passcode in there. By the time you get it done, it's timed out.
Nah,
You have to have your phone ready first.
I'm telling you, you better be,
try again.
you gotta be locked and loaded here. Let me see, if I can get it to come up. Okay, no, I didn't have it right. You gotta be quick on the draw, I know that. Yeah, you need to have your phone, already.
Nope, no, it didn't take it.
Oh, it didn't take it. Wait a minute.
What time did that come in?
7 something.
There it is.
Oh, I know what I did. I left the digit out. Okay, now here it is.
Do this one.
What is that?
And then hit approve. Oh, wait a minute,
No, it was good. It's just that the phone wasn't up, so
Yeah.
by the time I got it up, well, it had timed out. So you gotta be ready. You gotta have all your components ready. Live and learn. Live and learn.
They're gonna take our thumbprint before you know it, that'll be easier. Just
Yeah.
put it on there.
Mark, can you get into it?
I'm in it, I just can't read it. It's jumping all around the place for me.
That's kinda funny.
It's going
feel-
crazy.
Court's
Why
like a
don't you click
losing
it over?
Turn off your mouse.
I feel very secure because it does a
Now
great
try.
job of preventing me access. You know?
And
If you
you've got,
can't get on, have anybody else can get on, right?
I put it on differently, yeah.
and then.
I love watching these movies where the old boy runs down the hall and hacks into somebody's computer while they're coming at him with guns. And I think, I can't even log
Yeah, there
into
we go.
mine when I've got it all on a piece of paper.
Exactly.
Nope, nope, there it goes.
Getting better though, getting better.
It's just not gonna cooperate with me.
Hit the touch screen, turn that mouse off and
I
just.
won't have to. I'm trying to read a paper and it jumps all the way to the top or bottom.
Chief, I know you're always watching it. It looks like we're on pace to be about $750,000 over budget on salary and overtime. Y'all gonna have enough?
Well, as of June 30th, I was at 50% of my budget. So, right on the line. We'll have to start trying to trim some of the last
Yeah.
two
That
quarters.
means we're gonna be over then.
Yeah. We did start a jail school this current pay period we're on, so you see a little influx in the next two pay periods from that.
It's pretty high right now.
Pretty good now, huh?
Be hard to get a lot higher. I'm good on that.
Will, what drives the overtime in the captains, lieutenants, and sergeants or administrative time? What causes
Just
that?
picking up shifts, extra shifts, is normally where it would be at. And most all that overtime is just picking up shifts. Are you looking at anybody in particular?
No, I just was noticing,
Just on
I
page
guess he
14.
broke that out.
On page like,
14.
It's got them separated there.
yeah, they would be just picking up extra shifts. And then, you know, we also require them to be there 15 minutes before the jailer, so there's a little bit of their time there, and they usually say 15 minutes late to pass on to the next shift. But if they have a lot of hours, it's because they picked up a shift or part of a shift.
On pace to have a couple of six-figure jailers.
They like to work.
It's a hard job. Wouldn't want to do it.
Mhm.
You're still looking? Oh, yeah.
One captain, lieutenant, sergeant, whatever, had 92 hours a couple of weeks back.
Do I know?
One of them had 92 hours a couple of weeks back.
Where are we looking at?
They're the captains, lieutenants, sergeants.
I saw the S-Ray program was on there. Is there still a lot going on there, Will? Are they catching a bunch of stuff, those animals? Like cattle and donkeys, and I wouldn't think they'd get any cattle, they're too dang high.
Yeah, we get a call, I don't know often, but we get several calls probably in a week or 2 week period to go. If we find them, we usually put them in the nearest gate.
Yeah.
But then other people call and say they're on my property or in the city limits, and they have to come out and get them.
I'm just curious, we hadn't talked about it in a while, I didn't know if that was still an active deal or.
It is, but not like it used to be, not like it was in 2014 and
It was pretty
2013,
hot
when they were
there for a
dumping them
while.
out,
92 hours
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Of overtime.
Of overtime.
of overtime.
And one paper.
And one picker.
Who are we talking about?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, he works all the time, yes.
And what rank is he?
He is either a corporal or a sergeant. I believe he's a corporal.
Say say it again, somebody working that much overtime in that situation, they cannot be sharp.
Some people can. I mean, I've been there, I've done it, but maybe not. Your sharpness, if you're a really good person, might be better than some of your guys that are only
Well-
working 40. So, I'm just
Apparently we
saying,
have a, so let's do that.
Filling slots.
All right, I think, are we good now?
I think so.
Okay. All right, let's go to number 3, review and discuss regular bills.
I wish there were less.
Looks like we got that email yesterday at 11:16 a.m.
Sorry, I was late yesterday.
We had several repairs this last few weeks at Lipscomb. I think we had 4 2020s that the fuel pumps went out on.
At the same time?
This week?
In the last month, we had several there at the same time, like 3.
I wonder if it's a fuel issue.
Well, they did it, they did a fuel check and it said fuel was good.
Really?
It just all, that heat 2 weeks ago, just one after another dropped.
Are they close in mileage, Will? Or do you-
I can't tell you, but
They intake fuel pumps?
Interesting.
I can't tell you that either.
Yeah.
Well, Lipscomb is good because, we had a bill, we asked for approval, we got approval to pay it, and then Lipscomb called me and told me it was an enterprise bill, and they sent me the check back, so they are watching that.
Okay, good.
So,
Enterprise is watching it?
Lipscomb was paying attention to it because we got a bill, we asked for approval, got it, paid it, and Lipscomb called us and told us, that's not y'all's, that's enterprise.
Still haven't turned around and paid enterprise, but
Yeah, I mean, we
Right.
paid it regardless, but,
yeah,
Didn't double
We
pay.
don't need to double.
right,
we didn't double
And
pay.
then had the issue of back and forth trying to figure out.
right.
I think the only one we have there now is that one we had on the agenda a couple of weeks ago that needed the motor and stuff, transmission work on.
And that was we had a 2020 on Enterprise? Or was that a newer?
On maintenance.
Oh,
Enterprise.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
the
I
maintenance
got
part of
you,
it.
yeah, I'm thinking about, yeah, okay, I get it. Gosh, Will, a 2020 could have,
100,000 easy.
I was gonna
on
say
that.
100 and a quarter.
Yeah. Low mileage, one owner.
Yeah, I still remember I remember when 50,000 was a lot on a vehicle, back in the good old days. Not true anymore.
I'm running 3 personal vehicles, all with 200,000.
I'm in the same shape.
Just taking care of them.
Yeah, might as well drive them.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, we'll make
they-
a car payment.
Yeah, they get to that point.
Margaret, are these large checks to Burke and to Wichita TIF monies?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Gentlemen, you'll have a good weekend.
Thanks,
Chief.
Will.
Chief.
Thanks, Will.
Mark,
Thank you, Will.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
on
Uh-oh.
precinct 2, landfill waste connections, is that one dumpster?
Yes, that's a dumpster you said you were going to cancel.
That's why I just sent a message to my foreman. I thought we had that.
You may be the final on it, Mick.
Does it
We
say
just-
anything on there about
I
final?
don't,
We
I
just
looked at it, I don't
finalized
recall, let me
ours.
double check it, but I don't recall, I don't think it said final on it. I'll double check right now then. Cause I was gonna call you and then I thought, well, I'm gonna see you in court, so I'll just,
Yeah. That might be the final.
that's why you were going to go so high, that's how come you
This
said you
is
were gonna
from-
cancel. It's a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't get.
If you're pulling it up,
That's
if
what
you,
we want.
if you pull it up, you tell me what the
We
weight
still have
was.
to review it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
We- Tim, we really need him to send that, we can get it to him. I don't know who she's gonna need, which I told her to get in touch with him yesterday. I've always found the fewer people you've got in the mix, the
Yes.
better off everything is.
Yeah, I still have-
I'm gonna send it to you because it's, I don't know, it's weird.
Hard to read.
Yeah, I mean, it says $3.55 at 0, and then it has a 1 each at $480. Then it has an environment, that's all it is, environmental fee 57.60, fuel and material surcharge 107.57, makes it $645.17. Doesn't give weight.
The 480 was the,
480 is the charge for the 30-yard haul is what it
And you-
says.
yeah, that 3, that, you sent it to me?
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
get it here in a second. We have at least one expert up here that can tell by looking at that bill. Hall's 480. 3.55 tons. They didn't charge us anything for the tonnage, just charged us for the haul. 480 for a dump, that's pretty steep. But
Bet you, well, you don't have a deal, you have tonnage on top.
I know, but they didn't bill me for
I
nothing.
bet you get one.
That's what I was thinking. That's why we went to dumpsters. That's a prime. And everybody does have theirs set up on, you have yours? That's the only one I have a question about.
Yeah, act on it.
They need to learn how to use their, they need
That's
to
fine.
do.
Unless you got a long trailer, then you can do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
almost says your wife, sorry.
I just showed it to him. Do you
Yeah.
still want it?
Oh, okay.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Okay, sorry, he's faster than me.
He is pretty quick at getting
He
the
is
full
pretty quick, he's all over it.
Feel good, you're still looking?
I just like a little.
Okay. Well, you got Barry distracting you, it's hard to.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wild. It just wants you to slowly scroll through.
Yeah.
Look at everything.
I was trying to see if
Make
there
sure I
was,
read it all.
It might be.
I was trying to see if there wasn't something on the precinct 3 list, I could switch over to somebody else, but I didn't find
Isn't
anything.
this a precinct 2 charge?
I didn't find anything. Mark's got plenty of money.
You still looking, Jeff? or-
No, I'm through.
All right. Any questions on that one? All right. It's 10:51 and court is adjourned. Thank you.